Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back or welcome to another Bangs audio review. Today, I have the Tangzu Wan'er SG2 for you. Well, and actually the original SG because I thought it'd be a fun comp to do. Sorry, she's got kind of a shiny box. Not that that's a problem, but in this case, I'm going to get it out of the way because, yeah. Anyway, jumping right into it. The original SG, as we do an unbox, was one of my first reviews, and I touted it as being like an earpod or AirPod killer. I think that held up well, actually. So the question is, the second iteration, is that going to be better, right? That's what everybody wants to know. How different, better, not better, all that kind of stuff. So quickly with the unbox, because it is shiny, instead of the cloth, really missed the cloth. You got a little cardboard here, so she's gonna stay there until I get annoyed with it sliding all over the place. Maybe I'll put some double-sided tape down. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we got Wan'ers going on over there. In here, you had the earphones, of course. A little cushion area there, and very basic but not bad accessories. So this is not the stock cable that's currently on them. That's the Canara Lara cable. Ear tips. Ear tips are nice. You get a set of black, dark gray, standard silicone, but you also get, if I can get one out, it'd be nice. Nope, still no. The Tangzu. Small, medium, and large. We'll be definitely hanging on to those. Those are really a big help for me when I run into pressure buildup. Now, they don't fix it for every set, unfortunately, but they do definitely help. So, nice inclusion on the ear tips to have the Tangzu in there. The other ones are just your sort of standard silicone, and they're fine. The cable was, I think it's good. I did end up using a different cable, but that was actually before I realized something very important. And might as well do this now too. Thank you to Harrison and Syeindunce Audio for sending me this set for review. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. On the Syeindunce storefront on Amazon, there are some options for you. So you get black or you get white. And then for terminations, 3.5 millimeter with mic, 3.5 millimeter straight, this right here. 4.4. Harrison, why didn't you send me the 4.4? Just kidding. You start complaining about free sets, there's a problem. And then Type-C with mic. So you've got 4 different terminations to choose from based on your use case. Nice. Okay. Super cool, right? The cable is good. It's like got that little bit of rubbery feel to it. It's got a little bounce. It's not tangly. It's fairly light. So it's not like a big, massive, thick cable. If you all are looking for that, then you might want to do a cable swap. But luckily, it's a 0.782 pin on that, so that's easy enough. And yeah, you can order it in 4.4. So cable's not bad too. There is no pouch or case to speak of, but we are looking at $24 US. I forgive that omission at that price point. You get north of 50, I start to get a little bit cranky about it, as you probably know. So yeah, the box is nice. It's got the nice, I don't want to call it a waifu because it's not really a waifu, but that's Wan'er. She seems to get more, I don't know, mysterious and sultry as we go. But yeah, nice looking package for sure. Set her on top of the T Pro. That'll be coming soon. Then on the IMs themselves, your build and fit, it's a fairly average size shell. And the fit is pretty darn comfortable. So there you go. That's my scientific analysis of it. 3D printed resin, nice faceplate. It's hard for y'all to probably see it, but there's some pretty intricate design on it, along with some Chinese characters. All in all, a very nice looking. It doesn't. It's $24, so it doesn't feel super premium, but it feels good. Feels nice. Specs are as follows. It's a 10 millimeter PET diaphragm, single dynamic driver, 113.5 decibels on your sensitivity, 19 ohms on your resistance, and 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz for your frequency response. As I mentioned, the cable is a 0.782 pin on the connection, and you have your 4 choices of terminations. This is not the cable, so I'm not sure why I'm holding it up. But if you want a cable swap, it's easy enough because it is 0.782 pin. So there you go. I like it. I think it's a nice, like, it looks and feels a little bit more expensive than the price, which is always a good thing in my opinion. So yeah, going up against the original Wan'er, from a build and feel sort of, I feel like it does. Sort of, it outpaces the original SG insofar as feel and look goes. I mean, I got the most boring color you could possibly get in the gray, so other ones are a little bit more exciting to look at, like the green, I think, the jade one. But anyway, it does feel like it is a step up in both quality and also in comfort and design, in my opinion. So slightly larger shell, but I think more comfortable. Yeah, that's going to be our main comp. So yeah, and also, just so you know, this is the Open Audio Witch Pro cable because the original Wan'er SG is a QDC connection. Just so you're aware of that. The original Wan'er cable, I think, actually might be in the garbage. I think that's pretty much what I thought about that. If it is somewhere, I don't know where it is. But it was pretty bad. So I just pulled these out of there, out of a storage case and popped the Open Audio on there because I had it. Works just fine. All right, nitty gritty time. Let's bring up the graph and the graphs. So I'm just going to get right into it. We'll do some other comps as well. With some more expensive single DDs because we've been on quite a bit of a tear recently insofar as that configuration goes. This is a comp and overlay of the SG2, which is the top line, which is the purple-ish color. They do not cross, looks like at any point, except all the way up around 13-14K. So anyway, it's easy to see. Through the meat in the meat on the bone here, it's easy to see which one is which. The original SG is the green, the lower line. These were measured at the same decibel level approximately. They were measured at the same master volume on the old laptop, which was 21%. And this is what they look like. So I think my best sort of analysis or comparison between these two is that the original SG is a slightly more neutral and safer tuning with not quite as nice of a driver. The SG2 definitely has more bass, definitely has more energy in the ear gain, and more energy as you get into the mid and upper treble, not the air region because neither of them really have any there. But it is a more impactful, dynamic, engaging, and exciting listen. Review over. But I'm still going to freaking pontificate for the next 10 minutes on this. Yes, the original SG, I feel like was, I think at the time of its release, which was at least 3 years ago, if not longer, really kind of like, I think it was a good statement saying you don't have to buy, if you're going to buy wired earphones, they don't have to be like JLab or Skull Candy or earpods or whatever. You can spend the same amount of money, if not a little bit more or a little bit less in some cases, and get a much better listening experience. and I still say that. Like this was one of my first reviews. I called them AirPods killers, and I still hold to that. I think that aged well. I think that versus your basic AirPod, they sound better, and it's not just because they're wired. They just have like a nicer driver and tuning than the Apple stuff. Not the AirPods Pro, by the way, just the regular ones. And you can change tips and all that other stuff. So I still say this is a great sort of intro into the world of wired IEMs. So I'll stick by that. I think the biggest question for people was, or is the SG2, is it an upgrade? And from everything that I've experienced, it absolutely is an upgrade. Like, it's absolutely an upgrade. It is a more exciting, more engaging, better just from an enjoyment level. Maybe not so much on a technical level, although I think that the treble energy does give it a bit more technical performance and stage than the original. But yeah, in just about every way, I feel like the SG2 is superior and is worth whatever that dollar difference is. I wonder if the SG is still on sale. Let's see if I can bring that up. No, that's the TP35 Pro, our next review. Let's see if we can find this here. I'll link the Syeindunce, the product page at Syeindunce for you guys to purchase this, and there may be a coupon. If there is, I will definitely list that in the community section or in the comments section of this video for y'all. Subscriber only, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like what I'm doing, please do hit that subscribe button. I rarely ever say it. I should probably say it more, but if you do, that would be awesome. All right, let's see. Tangzu Wan'er, the OG. All right, so here we go. Linsol's got it on sale for $21.24. 22, yeah, minimal, very minimal. And as you can see, the Linsol's got it for the same price as Syeindunce. So of course, please buy it from Syeindunce. Obviously, that's the way to go. Looks like 19. So yeah, you can find the original SG on sale. Looks like for about 18 bucks, 19 or 18 bucks. It's worth the extra $5 or $6, guys. It just is. It just is. Even if you just boil it down to the cable and the termination selection, or the fact that there are Tangzu ear tips included, right? That to me is easily worth that price difference. And slightly better driver from what I heard, and slightly more exciting tuning from what I experienced. That's icing on the cake. That's really what the focus should be on. It shouldn't be on the accessories. It should be on the experience. So the accessories will be the icing on the cake. Either way, for an extra $5, it's an easy pick for me. It's definitely not a question in my mind. Is it better? I mean, I'd like to say yes. I think for most people it will be better because it's more exciting. Yeah. I can't really just put it any more plainly than that. It's an upgraded experience. It's upgraded in accessories. It's the only thing that's missing for me is I wish this were a cloth. That would have been super nice. We're in the $20 to $25 space here for single dynamic drivers. You guys know I've done a bunch recently and have found some really, really good ones like the Shanling MG100 and the Hibby Yacht 10, and to a little lesser extent the Oslo Horizon 2, In Awakened Dawn, the Yu Zhuan G from Tangzu also. I don't feel like these sets are in that like sort of quality level sound wise. I think that they do have their limitations. I think even though the SG2 is better than the SG, in my opinion, it still is limited by the PET driver. It doesn't really come close to the clarity and definition of like a beryllium driver or titanium aluminum alloy driver or a DLC driver or anything like that. I think that it performs above its price point, but I'm not going to say that it's better than like the In Awakened Dawn or a Confined Clean or Delcy or, things like that. I think that if you're in this space, if this is where your budget is, then I think that the $24 is extraordinarily well spent on the SG2. I think that if you purchase the SG, or if you're still thinking about purchasing the SG and you want something that's just slightly more neutral and maybe a little safer, that the $18 or $19 that you could spend on the SG is money well spent. I'm not going to sit here and say that they've changed the world. Maybe a tiny little bit on the original SG. And the fact that this is a little bit better, yeah, they're doing it right. They're certainly doing it right. I will say they're doing it the right way. But I'm not going to sit here and go, highly recommended, top 10 all-time set, any of that. I'll put them in my top 10 values. I'm sure that it'll, at the end of the year, the SG2 will be in my top 10 value set. Top 10 value sets list. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best thing since sliced bread. It is a very good set for a very cheap price with good accessories and options. So, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I did enjoy this across a bunch of musical genres. Fairly versatile in that way. I think it's just a little tiny bit intense on the ear gain for some genres. Like some of the metal I listened to was it was just kind of riding the ragged edge. But I didn't really ever get fatigue out of it, which is big. That's big. I wasn't ever like, oh, I have to really turn that down a lot, or I've got to get them out of my ears right now, or I'm going to die. Like, none of those things happened, regardless of what I was listening to. So, really well done by Tangzu. Again, for a budget set, I guess not ultra budget because it's not sub 20, but for a budget set, for what you get, the quality of the sound, the accessories, etc., etc., etc. Really superb value on this. That's what I'll give it. So, you got $25 to spend. You're looking for something to spend it on. You want something better than you've got right now. 9 times out of 10, the Wan'er SG is going to do exactly that. So, unless you got something that you want to tell me about, it's like less than $25. That's absolutely freaking amazing. Leave it in the comments if you do. All right, that's going to wrap it for today. Well, for now. I'll be back later today with the TP35 Pro review brought to you by EPZ and their official store on AliExpress. The sale is on, so the review will be up. All right, till then, be careful, be safe, be nice. Love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see you soon.